From Alaska, Grim After Dark, starring Jon and Danny.
Guys, welcome! As you so eloquently read, I'm assuming on our title here, the Nova Champion is going to share his thoughts on the meta. That brought out a rogue Jack Harpster into chat. Welcome along, sir. As we want to remind you, this game isn't just being an amazing, talented player. It's also about the hobby section. So we do have Evan Valdyke from Sepulchre of Heroes coming. He won 2 separate awards for hobbying at Nova, therefore making our title not clickbait, but accurate, but also really bad clickbait. But welcome along. Don't worry though, it's obviously still going to be pretty grim after dark. My co-host today needs some motivation. It's Danny McDevitt. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it's a picture of Evan on the TV. Maybe it's Jack.
Surprise, it's me. Sorry.
Yay, he came in. Man, I have to say, when I made that awful clickbaity title, I didn't think it would actually work. But this goes to show the power of lying. And as also in chat here, if you guys can see on YouTube, Jack Harpster with a lot of H's saying, I see. Yeah, see, there we go. Wonderful. You guys, Art of War guys, really raise your game on that hobby track. Get all the way there.
Try and win more than one award at an event. I don't know.
Yeah, instead of merely winning the entire event for competitive scene. Yeah.
Win 2 awards.
Danny, we've been memed again. It's turning into a thing. This one showing up on my Twitter feed, whereas the last place I want to see my face. It's what I can assume is you and me in our Get Along shirt that we were putting together. I'm going to ask you this question, Danny, seriously, because I can't remember from the top of my head. When have we actually not gotten along?
I don't know, man. Like never.
No. For a more engaging question, now that we've laid that narrative groundwork down.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to lie and say every day or every time I see your face.
Yes, that's fair. Okay. What would I have to do to actually piss you off?
Oh man, it'd take a lot. I don't know. Make the right moves in a game of Warhammer. That would really piss me off.
That's so backhanded, dude.
That's one of my underlying sportsmanship issues. I don't know. You could drink a Pepsi Max in front of me. That would kind of piss me off.
I kind of need to go to Costco for the other kinds. But yeah, apparently what I need to do to make you mad is be good at a game I play. I would say though, would it be more accurate if it was the other way around, with you crying like a little baby and me laughing at you?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Yes.
All right, cool. Now that we've cut our audience in half, Danny, go ahead, introduce the guest.
Oh man, it's so organic tonight, John. So tonight,
dude, I'm a freaking cucumber in that organic.
Tonight we've got Evan from Sepulchre of Heroes. You may know him from his recent double win, if you will, at Nova, winning amazing prizes at both 30K and Titanicus. So welcome, Evan Valdyke, to the show.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Hey, Evan.
Yeah,
dude, Evan. Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
It has
pretty well.
Yeah, I had a great weekend.
I hear. Yeah. We have actually a picture here, as Andrew Simmons and chat letting us know a true champion, which we love to hear. Yeah. Is one of your wonderful awards from Nova. Tell us what you won.
So I won the Nate Taylor and Alan Bly award for theme in both the Horace Heresy, the Excruciatus event, which is the big 3,000 point event. So you gotta bring a lot of heresy to that. And then I also won it again in the Titanicus, Adeptus Titanicus event, which that. I will say I was more surprised definitely about the Warhammer 30,000 one, to the Excruciatus. I put a lot of effort into making a display board and everything for Titanicus. I had a sound on the board and like epic models on the board and everything for that. And you saw in that picture, I didn't have a board even for 30K. It's just I sold it with my army, the basing, the story behind it. So it was enough to put me into receiving that award. So it was a big honor. Nate Taylor, he was a big heresy community organizer who passed away, and then Alan Bly, if you don't know who he is, he wrote like all the Black books up until like book 6 or 7, I forget what, and then passed away. And that's part of why Forge, in my opinion, it's a big reason why Forge World stopped doing everything cool they did in terms of books, the Imperial Armor books, and why it took so long for like books 8 and 9 and stuff to come out.
Yeah. Don't worry,
without
though.
Alan
Fires
Bly
is
at the helm.
Directus. Any day now, Josh. It's coming. Evan, I will say, now that you've explained how you won the hobby event there at the 30K at Nova, guys, Duncan Rhodes is judging the painting at LVO this year, this January. What I need you to do, no display boards. Get rid of them. You can't fit them in a plane. They're hard to transport. It's weird when you walk through a casino with them. I need you to stop him for 10 to 15 minutes per army to just scream descriptions of each individual model's name, each unit's kill count, things like that. Just really just make the most of his time there and see if you can just emotionally cripple him to make you win.
You could just paint Hawkshroud Knights, and I think you'll just get all the points from him. It like don't even have to be like 3-color minimum Hawkshroud Knights, and you're probably going to do pretty well.
You do get 10% more points if you use the Duncan Rhodes paints as well that are available from Kickstarter.
Yeah, John, you don't have to bring your own display board. You can just take a note from 40K and borrow one from someone else. It'd be fine.
This is what you're killing for that drum roll sound.
That's I was definitely I had a friend say, because he saw that picture you guys shared, he's like, "What? You didn't just go take a board from someone? You could just use someone else's. It's fine."
Yeah.
I would really love if these giant events there was just one display board and everyone set up their army, moved on, set up their army, moved on.
A real crapshoot if you're basing matches.
Yeah, man, you got to hope it works out. We did, though, at Nova. The main thing that happened over that whole weekend was there was yet another GW preview show. This one, we got a roadmap for the next few seasons, the best call, with incredibly specific summer, autumn, and winter. We're going to ignore the fact that they previewed a codex that released while it was being previewed in the summer release of Demons. But we have Votan coming in this autumn, Astra Militarum and World Eaters in winter. And this is a question to both you and Evan, Danny, here. For our American listeners, what's autumn?
Were you just trying to get us to say fall, John?
Yeah.
No, I'm just making sure everyone's on a level set here of what autumn is.
September, October, November.
September, October, November. Love it. Along those lines, we have a date of winter for Astra Militarum and World Eaters. Guys, when is winter?
Winter is coming.
I think it's like, I would say December, January, February.
Really? December, January, February, all the way to February. You're going for the little Alaska winter.
Hey, man, look, I'm from Alaska. Like, I don't know when winter stops other places.
Yeah, I have a producer screaming about solstice. Like, I didn't realize he was quite so hippie-ish, but sure, Evan, go.
I know there's official dates for them, but like I subscribe to the kindergarten what the count was on the calendar, and there was definitely snow on December, January, and February's calendar, and there was definitely leaves on September, October, and November. Like that's what they teach us. That's what it should be. Just set it. We don't need to go by the moon anymore. What are we doing? Like
I just love the idea of GW's release schedule in their official HQ building being a kindergarten calendar sheet where you just take out the thing and move it. We go by the sun. Thank you, Val. So, what are you guys more excited for? And I think I kind of know the answer for this already, but just so we have that good split, are you guys more excited for a competitive guard book or for World Eaters? Evan, you have one or two memes of Deathcore, and seem to enjoy that kind of thing. But what are you excited for?
Oh, I'm excited for guard. Totally. Another great thing about this Nova is I did the trios and I got to be on the stream that they had going for the round one of the trios with my guard. So that was really exciting
That's really
for
cool.
that. Yeah. So and once again, that was just the hobby effort. So all about guard because who cares about another Chaos Space Marine army? Another Space
That's
Marine
fair.
army?
Danny, you tend to get excited about all of the armies, but you also
True.
got a really good deal on some bloody World Eaters quite recently. So, which one are you most excited for?
So funny story. I'm actually more excited for guard.
Well, this ruins
Like,
the whole next half
okay,
hour.
I know. I want to be contrarian, like I have a World Leaders army, but I'm really excited about guard. Like a Tanith first army would be like a dream army for me. So at some point, I'll like want to work on converting that kind of thing. But that's a real labor of love, hobby wise, and I don't know when I'm going to have time for that.
How disappointed are you guys going to be when Guard is the book where they finally figure out how to do a balanced codex?
Oh, it totally will be. Like after Votan, no way that they're coming out off the top rope with guard.
Yeah,
we have a bunch of T3 models coming at guys that are like strength times 2 weapons on strength 5 base, T5 base, 4+ feel no pain. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
dude, Danny, we're contractually excited about Votan coming, but
We are.
we're going to comment hugely on the pictures that J Games Workshop shared. Evan, I'm excited to hear about your unfiltered thoughts. Um, but as you both might both have said that you're excited for Guard, but they did preview the brand new Berserker kit. The Berserker kit, of course, that is almost
Oh,
as old as Danny and myself. Um, we see the Corn Killers in action with the full kit scene here. Beautiful model, stunning new plastic kit from Nova. Guys, thoughts on the new Berserkers?
They should have come out with the old Karn or the new Karn like 5 years ago.
I don't know. Berserkers have a way older kit than the guard models too. I'm really glad they're getting an update. They really need it.
Yeah. What other units can you expect to see? I didn't get a chance to kind of throw it on here, but today Warhammer community put up some pictures of bits, which I honestly think is a great way to preview some new kits coming up.
Sure.
We see what I'm incredibly excited for and what I believe is
Oh, no.
a reborn mutilator.
Ugh.
But Danny, you sighed irritatedly.
Because John will not shut up about mutilators, guys. I don't think you understand. Like my chat will be filled wall to wall with all these like mutilator ideas and mutilator paint schemes and mutilator tactics. Like no, like nobody should have to go through what I had to go through. So yeah, I'm not excited about this.
I did take 9 to LVO, like
Yeah,
just
that
a
sounds
couple
right.
years ago.
For some reason.
Surprisingly, didn't do great, but in my heart,
Whoa.
I did.
I think you had about 1/3 of the mutilators purchased at that LVO.
Yes, because they were absolutely legitimate mutilators and not third-party mutilators
Definitely not.
whatsoever. I actually think they were old, the shooty guys,
Obliterators.
old obliterators, not rebased because they're tiny. But yeah, Evan, what other units are you expecting to see? So I think we're getting mutilators. We're getting obviously berserkers. What else are we going to see from World Eaters?
See from World Eaters. I'm really hoping we see some corned up vehicles move to some of the Forge World ones move to plastic would be nice, like, or at least something equivalent, like the Blood Slaughterers and their some sort of brass scorpion type model. That'd be pretty sweet. Not just the greater brass scorpion, but remember, I think it was in Apocalypse, right? They had a brass scorpion and like you converted it from a defiler. It'd be really neat for a kit of the brass scorpion to finally come out.
That'd be really
or
cool.
just a new defiler.
Or just a new,
Yeah,
or just
that would
a new
also be
defiler. We
As someone who's just built 3 soul grinders, not a fun kit to put together.
no.
Danny, will the new World Eaters release finally make Land Raiders okay?
No.
Cool. But hey, what release would be what release would it be without some vintage Chaos wine? Chaos players, you're awful.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
it's fine. As someone pointed out, the poses on the new World Eaters are really similar to the Assault Intercessor kits. As we see here, where they put pictures of the World Eaters beside sort of similar posed Marine kits.
oh, you mean a
yeah,
guy
Evan.
running with a chainsaw is going to run in a uniquely different way every time he does it? Especially when they're both 8 foot tall genetic warriors that
Hey.
just want to go punch people.
Evan, he's got a very air resistant hat. And so therefore he's gonna have to run in a much different way, probably like a crab.
His
I
head is
imagine
just
it'll be like
pushed back.
Ed. It'll be like Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie. Remember how he was just like always leaning back, his arms
Yeah.
behind him? That's how it'd
Yeah,
be, right?
maybe make it like an airfoil. Perfect. Generates lift.
I personally now always imagine berserkers, thanks to you two bozos, as running with their heads all the way back because of the wind push against the top of their helmets. So, Evan, going back to what you were saying there, should Chaos be just a dark mirror of humanity like it's been all along? Or should it be kind of its own faction?
I think there's definitely room for it to be its own faction, and it has to be the Demons Codex, and that's where a lot of those weird monster and demonic things should go. And I really would like to see a little bit more of CSM not be just crazy demon engines or Dinobots, and just be like,
Sorry,
chaos,
Dinobots?
yeah, the Dinobot guy,
God,
right?
you've ruined a third of my Chaos
Have
Army
you
with
never
words.
heard that before, John?
No, I
No?
haven't.
You've never
For
heard it called a
real.
Dinobot? That's what it is, man.
Yeah, dude. One of them slag, the other one swoop. We need
And those are
Snarl
real
and
Dinobot
Sludge
names.
and Grimlock.
Yeah.
Danny, what's more upsetting? What is more upsetting? This complaint about the posing, or the fact that they didn't even correctly attribute the ripoff of the double-handed chainsword guide to the Assault Marine with the Executioner chainsword? Because if we pull that slide back up here, it's real grainy. But this is
Okay.
going to be great for our audio listener to follow along
Yeah,
with.
here I'll help to
home.
describe it, John.
You
to the
will,
best of
but
my
if you
ability.
look at the second Marine from the right, from your center of your screen, thank you,
Okay.
producer. Right, the right guy, right there. If you want to just squint in, no one can see you going real close. Don't worry, Danny.
So yeah, no, they can.
You mean the Gabriel Seth one is what it should be.
Just the Gabriel Seth Marine.
Yeah.
And I think Evan is quite right in the fact there's only so many poses you can put running.
It doesn't even look
8-foot
like
tall
the
Marine.
Executioner.
It's the same pose. It's just a ripoff.
Oh my
They have
God.
2 poses. Waiting
Okay.
for the Corn Berserker Marine holding a staff, standing legs apart, so they can complain about that too. But guys, does this lessen the appeal of the kit that some of the poses are moderately similar to another kit of the same size superhumans?
If you're complaining about them upgrading a kit that's older than most current players have been playing the game, like, it's no.
Don't get
Take
me
it.
wrong.
Take it.
I want them to update this kit, of course, but this is not the way to do it. Let's make some unique poses, like get some real good crab walk poses so that everyone can see that, and how berserkers really move, instead of this, like, kind of just weak copy off of the Assault Intercessors.
So my favorite part about this, by the way, isn't the terribly added on pictures of the not same but similar Marines like all around it. Is the comment that was before this fine investigatory journalism on the Chaos Space Marine Facebook group. It says, recycling at its finest, buy a Primaris kit bash it, and it will look better. No, it will not. If these are just Primaris kits with Chaos bits already molded onto it. I'm just going to buy that one. Yeah, terrible. Chaos guys, keep having terrible takes. It fuels me. It really does. Moving on, Horace Heresy himself is getting a new mini, and it's his Ascended form in glorious resin. Guys, your thoughts on Horace Ascended?
He's cool. Why is he resin? Why are we doing that still? That seems like a bad idea.
They kind of alluded to it there in that they understood they pitched it as people also like collector's pieces kind of deals, and that's, I think, is a little baloney on that. I'm not sure they could have done some of that detail though in plastic. I think like the resin, like that's an insanely detailed model. The base for me is a little too busy, but it's probably just a display base. Like I hope, like all the current Primarchs, he's removable for the game.
Danny,
Because
do
I
you
don't
think
want
we're
to
going
push
to
around
see
100 skeletons.
Sure.
Do you think we're going to see a decorative Emperor versus Horus display base? And that's going to make this, and I agree with that, but I really don't like the base in this guy because it's like someone clipped all of the skull sprues into a pile of glue and then just stuck the miniature on top of it.
It's like he's stepping on some kind of a skeleton katamari, and which has rolled up all of the skeletons from somebody's desks. Anyway, like I wish that I wish this base was a little bit more dynamic instead of kind of, it seems just so plain. I don't think there's going to be an Emperor versus Horus kind of battle scene, because like where are they fighting at? Some kind of like skeleton arena? Like where are they? Like why would Horus and the Emperor be walking on a bunch of skeletons?
Stuff's going to get real in part 7 of the last book of the
Part 7, part 2. Oh no,
series.
okay, part 7 of the the final book.
I have a question on the base though, and guys, you're a bit more of a heresy knowledgeable people than me. Who has green power armor? Because the base has green power armor.
Can you go back? It could be the Sons of Horus himself, or Salamanders and Dark Angels. Also,
it's Salamanders.
Look at the shoulder pad there. It's got a little flame on it.
I refuse.
Over to the other side. Enhance.
For the audio of it, listener, what Danny's doing is saying enhance, and our producer is zooming in on a picture.
It's exactly what you think it is, guys.
There's nothing
It's
hidden
awesome.
there. Cool. Like for me, I was like, yeah, that's a weird green for salamanders, but what do I know? Guys, are you sad that Horus Ascended isn't the fat, puffy Horus from the original artwork of the early 90s?
The what? The fat puppy Horus?
Yeah, the original Horus from the early 90s pintings and pictures.
Oh,
Had,
okay.
Like
the original one with him versus Sanguinius. Like, yeah, that was a great piece of art. Classic. I mean, doesn't hold up well, like especially to some of the newer stuff, like especially the recreation of that piece. But I don't know. It's kind of iconic. So no, I'm not disappointed Horus isn't puffy like a baby.
That's fair. Chat's letting us know the green armor complements his red cloak, which I'm really happy that Horace Heresy himself is arranging his skulls and armor in a way that he looks best for his final duel.
Dude, you gotta style that shit, man.
You've got to. And here we see rendered, the GW said rendered in highly detailed resin. This model is the first in a new character series from Forge World, representing each of the Primarchs at the height of the heresy, whether they're fully under the sway of chaos or rallying to defend the Imperium in its darkest hour, giving us a fresh look at the driving characters of this epic saga as they lead their legions into the biggest battles. Along those lines, guys, who are you excited for to see in a new, late heresy form?
Ferrus Manus.
Oh, damn you! All right, then I gotta go with Conrad Kurz.
Val, go to the next slide real quick. You killed my joke, both of you.
You're welcome.
The next one. Yeah, there's the Ascended Ferrus Manus miniature here.
Sorry.
Yeah, of the alive Primarchs, I forgot a couple of scamps right here. We're going to jump on through. Who are you excited to see, and kind of what stage of the heresy are you excited to see? Like, are you excited for Sanguinus at Eternity Gate? Are we excited for kind of Khan attacking the spaceport? What do we
If
want to see?
if they do Sanguinius like he is on the cover of that new book,
Yeah.
like that's a pre-order. that's like that's an instant buy.
It'd be pretty dope. I can't even deny that. I do kind of want to see. Well, here's the problem with this, right? Have we already seen kind of a lot of the Trader Primarchs already, like in their
And
demon
so that
forms,
was my
basically?
question. Does that mean we're
So
going to get dope like alternative resin trader Primarchs from Forge World?
that could be cool.
I wonder if we'd get something in between what like Mortarion is in 40k and
Sure.
not fully yet ascended to demonhood. The problem is some stuff like Fulgrim, like he like instantly went to Snake Guy. Like there
Yep.
was no like in between.
There was no
Really.
tadpole stage, if you will.
Yeah. He looked
shed
like
his
Fulgrim
legs.
and then he didn't.
Oh, but guys, as you were saying, Echoes of Eternity, which Sanguinus was defending Eternity, is out now. It is the latest in the Siege of Terra series. It's legitimately one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Black Library book ever. And with that, we are now moving towards the final book of the Siege of Terra series, The End and the Death, Part 1. Guys, thoughts on The End of the Death being split into multiple books?
I mean, okay. So sometimes the stories can get away with you, and I can understand them not wanting to release like a 600-page book or something like that. So I guess it'll depend on what the length of the end product is, whether or not I feel like it was fair for them to break it into two parts.
I'm guessing they planned it that way. They have that council of heresy authors that meet, and like I remember seeing like 2 years ago, some post or picture is like Dan Abnett, Aaron Dembski Bowden, and them saying like, "Oh, the final planning meeting," like where they mapped it out. And my guess this was always intended, and it's not that they are forcing it; it's that the story's just too big. They have to. Too much happens, and they planned it to be this grand scope. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like from a trader and then loyalist perspective or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will this last book have more or less endings than the final Lord of the Rings book?
I don't think the book has that many endings.
Sorry, the movie. I'm sorry. I'm not, knock on wood, not a Tolkien fan, but I hated how the Return of the King movie, the climax happened, and then there was an hour of wrap up. But we're gonna see like kind of a similar thing here, where Emperor's gonna die, and then we're gonna have like thousands of pages about what happens to everyone else.
No, because they have to do a whole new book series called The Scouring, which
Right.
will be another 20 books to sell that everybody will buy.
Pretty
I will.
genius.
Yeah, just keep printing that money, guys. Well, John Grammaticus and the Perpetuals finally make me give a shit about them in the last two books.
What?
Will the Perpetuals, will John? Yeah, John will. If you do you not know the story, like what happens?
I do, but like it's just that like it's been so awkward up until this point, and poor All, he's gonna get it for sure. Spoilers, but like what is going on with it? It was a lot of pages for not much. My apology, I'm not hitting much for these at all today. If you're listening, great job. Where do you see the end of part 1 happening? So we know kind of the story that we have left. Where's the split going to happen? Is it going to be, Danny, you think something like Evan was saying, where we're going to have like a loyalist view and a traitor view? Is it going to be something like, personally, I feel it's going to be when they decide to go up to the Vengeful Spirit, it's going to be the end of part 1?
That's a good point.
That was going to be my break off point, right? Would be at that moment that they teleport to the Vengeful Spirit. Either that, or after Sanguinius dies.
Fair.
So one thing I've always wondered
Spoilers.
is does someone let them teleport to it, Or does
Right.
does Horace lower the shields, or does someone betray Horace and lower the shields? And I've always wondered if Horace Axelman, from like the beginning, if he was going to be the one to betray Horace.
It was John Grammaticus. Therefore, going back to my earlier joke, and making me give a shit about the Perpetuals. Sadly, though, we have this amazing series wrapping up and coming to an end. I can't speak highly enough of Echoes to Eternity. It's made me almost buy a Blood Angels army so many times across the 2 days I've been reading it. But Black Library, apparently, many feel that they struggle, as this person says here, with creating interesting stories for other factions. Guys, do you have any kind of ideas about what books tell interesting stories about non-Imperium factions?
If you haven't read the Oracle and the Divine, or listened to it in audio, that's actually how I would say to do it. Like or is that what's called the Infinite and the Divine? The Infinite and the Divine. That's an awesome book.
I like the Twice Dead King too. I thought that was pretty good. The first one was really good. The second one was a little less good, but pretty good still. And this is from non-Imperium factions, John?
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously you've got like Night Lord's novels are really great.
Talon of Horus.
Yeah, those are great too. Anything but ADB is really good, pretty much. So that's probably a good bet. Man, it's just, you know what? It's really hard, I bet, to write from that perspective. The Gav Thorpe Eldar, like Path of the Eldar books were like, they were okay. But like there hasn't been a lot of good Xeno stuff. I think it's probably harder to write from that perspective.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And fear not, brave people, because over the next week I'll be sitting down with Taylor to record his summary of Echoes of Eternity. And what we're going to do with that summary is we're going to squeeze that down to about 6 minutes of insanity. So there'll be no spoilers, no tangible plots, lots of screaming. We're going to be throwing that out there. So you too can have no clue what happens in that book. The entire Votann range was announced by Games Workshop at Nova. And the entire book was leaked by either nefarious playtesters, Miniacs, store owners, the janitor at Warhammer World, stream team. Someone did, and it keeps on coming. But it didn't take long for some Photoshop proficient hobbyists to give them all the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle color scheme. And guys, this is a pretty sick color scheme for the army. No jokes there.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's fine. If you want to do this, you can do this. I'm not going to think less of you. Well, no, that's not true. I will. But like, I think it's a lot of work and it shows a lot of effort. I've seen some really cool like G.I. Joe armies and stuff like that people have done. So, you know, as long as there's good work into it, that's really respectable. It's just not what I would want to do, really.
I just want to see the Gene Stealer cult foot army,
yeah, dude.
Right? That's what would be opposite of him with a Shredder Patriarch.
Yeah.
Right?
So now, okay, the goal is, picture this, close your eyes. LVO 2023. You've set up your display board. It's your Gene Stealer cult foot army versus your Teenage Mutant Ninja Votann. Gav Thorpe. Duncan Rhodes comes up to examine your army. And you just spend 45 to 60 minutes explaining the deep lore of your Votann army and how they raised up from the sewers of the mining colony to be up against the evil foot of the Gene Stealer cult. And I want to know that narrative. Danny, without talking about any rules, what's your take on the model range?
They seem really points efficient.
That's like the opposite of what I asked you to do, Danny.
I'm just kidding. I love the I love the chunkiness of the models. I really like the land. I really like the Land Fortress. That thing is really cool. I'm super excited to own, you know, like 3 of those. And then I really also, the bikes are really cool as well. I like the models. Like I like all the stuff strapped to the side of them, like the little like bits and pieces. Those things are really cool. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited about this model range.
Evan, how are you feeling about the army as a whole, from maybe other things you've seen?
I mean, the I I think a lot of people are going to start working on some really cool conversions. I think what's going to be really neat is seeing the Age of Sigmar models kit bashed with these for like from the Kahandran overlords. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for some really cool work to be done. But otherwise, I think that the biggest thing that sticks out to me is like the 6-foot tactical rock that the the Grimnir's on. But the army looks really cool.
Hey, he's moving that rock with his mind, maybe.
Or the robots in the picture are picking it up and dropping it down for him.
That's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible.
How do you guys feel, Danny? And our producers pointing out in chat here, you made some outlandish comments about land trains and your demand for land trains. Your tone's kind of tempered down a bit for reasons we can't talk about yet. But how do you feel about no land train?
I mean, maybe, that might be something that they announce in the future. We'll see. I know that I'm going to personally be setting my land fortresses up in a train-like formation as they move across the table and when they're sitting on my display board.
Which you're available to freely borrow at the Las Vegas Open 2023.
Yeah, just one of the rules of the event actually is just sweep whoever army is on one just off of it onto the ground and throw your stuff on there, make it look really good. That's just part of the hazard. So don't leave your army sitting there on your trays. I heard that's a rule there.
That's true. And guys, now I said I wouldn't share any of the book, but I found this on Reddit. It's a little text blurb. There's no rules, no anything anyone hasn't seen before, but I couldn't not talk about this. This is Thonian berserks are amongst the most heavily augmented and courageous kin, brandishing mining tools come weapons of war, and unleashing explosives that tunnel through solid rock. Evan, what is a mining tool come weapon?
It's the exact opposite of all the progress they've made with female representation in the game. That's what it is.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Does this show a decrease in the usage of Latin words or an increase in the immaturity of the community?
Both.
I just want to say that the Votan have a notorious close relationship with the Rock. And so like that's kind of one of the reasons their artistry knows no equal.
Have you guys ever read an awful comic called The Boys? The Votan are pretty much Tech Knight. If you guys had to add a weapon to 40k that sounded dirty but wasn't, what would it be and what would it do?
Oh, that's tough.
I don't know. There's probably some gross Tyranid stuff like an insemination cannon or something. I don't know.
I'm sorry, an insemination cannon?
Yeah, you heard me.
You make it sound like a t-shirt gun.
Oh, you'll need a new t-shirt.
That's fair.
Some sort of double penetrator. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, look, turbo penetrator is already a kind of ammunition the Vindicare assassin has. So, like,
that's fair. And, for the audio-only listeners, you missed. I had to censor part of one of the memes to deal with the cum weapons. So I used our standard censorship piece of Seth Oster's head. Guys, last week I kind of went off on Battlescribe a little bit. I got a little impassioned about kind of the state of the thing. But the creator of the Battlescribe app actually posted again last week, taking his tweets up from nothing in 2.5 years to 3 in 2 weeks. But he says, I read the data author's statement and I can't blame them for their position. I've thought about how to move forward in a way that is transparent, accountable, and I'm writing up a response and action plan to be posted publicly for comment. What are your guys' views on this kind of follow-up to the existing Battlescribe? Kerfuffle, I shall say, Evan.
Uh, I understand everybody's frustration with the guy. And I would like to take a 2-year break and get paid for my whatever I made constantly without having to do anything for it either. But
It's called
I just hope I just hope I just hope it does improve. It gets better going forward, and we see some new updates. It's really the best and only tool out there, because even I pay for Warhammer Plus, and I still don't use the app, the builder I get with that. I'd use
To be
Excel
real
just
with
for
you,
that.
Evan, I pay for Warhammer Plus for the 1 free miniature a year. And the occasional short I watch when other people tell me it's good. Danny, what does transparency look like? He talks here about being transparent and accountable. What does that look like to you? What is your legal expectation of this official statement he put out here?
Well, John, I don't have a legal expectation of this because I'm not an attorney.
Guys,
But
so this is the thing we're going to announce here. We're going to start a class action lawsuit right here. No, I'm kidding. We're not. We're not.
I'm
And we were
like, hey,
canceled.
yeah, okay, great. I was worried about that for a second, John, that you were actually starting a class action lawsuit against me. So I really appreciate you clearing that up.
Got to
Um,
get a long shirt now.
oh my God. Okay, so what is the expectation of like a plan of action for this guy? Like, obviously, I
Yeah,
think
like
we need to
what is
have
transparency? Because he says a lot of corporate buzzwords, right? He's going to
sure.
be transparent, accountable. Going to have an action plan. It's going to be posted publicly for comment. Like
Okay,
all of these things that sound great, but really don't say anything.
yeah,
So
John.
what? Yeah,
As a holder of a business degree, that's exactly what all of this is. I mean,
nothing.
not. I mean, that's business buzzwords in general. That's just buzzwords. Like, they can, like, especially in like this context, they can not mean that much. So, I mean, we'll
Um,
see. We'll see what this indicates. It could be, a release date of like bug fixes or planned ones, or at least, like, I don't know, some kind of like some kind of like product queue or something like that he wants to put. I don't know. I don't
so
know.
is this, guys, in your opinion, is it already too late for Battlescribe? Has this kind of kicked other people into gear to can make a similar program to work with the data that the data file makers are currently creating?
Uh, I We'll see if it takes off. The big thing hurdle you're going to get over is getting it to pair with things like submitting into BCP, I guess, and reading the same format. And you would have to have it putting out in the same format. And then are you going to open yourself to legal action from this guy? Who knows? And if it's been 2 years, why hasn't anybody done it already?
Right.
Right. For sure, Danny. Do you think it's just going to be business as normal as well?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, until he proves otherwise, I would assume that that's the case, right? But
Yeah.
but who knows? I mean, this could be a wake up call to him, especially if he's seen a substantial decrease in subscriptions.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to something a little bit less controversial. Evan, I know that you're a big fan of this. Adepticon sold out within minutes again. As every year, demand continues to grow.
Why?
And either at this point, Adepticon's grandfathered into a really, really great deal at their current location, and they just don't want to break it, or they just kind of enjoy the cap that's being placed on their size. Evan, I saw kind of you post a little bit about your experiences with Adepticon this year and trying to get tickets. Tell us about your experiences with that.
I have the page like loaded, like ready, just ready to press in. And like if you can't get a room when you're there the moment it opens, like your venue's too small. I'm sorry. Like I was there the moment it was live and still don't have a room. I think I did some googling. There's like 474 rooms at that hotel. It's a great space, a lot of space, but they give away like or reserve like 100 something of that for like staff and vendors and all that people. So like you can't and all the other hotels are like walking or driving like significant amounts. It's not even like there was 2 hotels at Nova, but like it was literally a single crosswalk. It was not a big deal on a not busy street. I feel like trying to cross some of the streets around Adepticon's playing Frogger, and I don't want to do that with my army. It's
Yeah,
frustrating. It's super
totally fair.
frustrating.
And like I said, they just must get a really sweet deal. But like I said, as Evan says, when you're almost 500 hotel rooms sell out before you can hit confirm on your booking when you were there right away, sort of an issue. And this is kind of not a new thing.
Yeah.
Ever since I got back into
Uh-oh.
I've seen people being put under.
Oh.
We missed like everything you just said, man.
Hey, John, you just lost time. Sorry, man.
Heck yeah, dude. It's just because it's the warp works differently in my wife's closet. But like I said,
You should come out of the
getting
closet.
back in the hobby like 7 years ago. Adepticon ticket purchases and hotel purchases was like the most stressed I've ever seen hobbyists. And I've seen people going into shadow rounds at LVO and top 10, all of this other stuff. I've seen valid LVO, and like the most stressed I've ever seen people is trying to get a hotel room, and that seems bizarre. Add to that, the last year there was a full-blown kerfuffle, guys. This is our second kerfuffle this episode.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's just the shenanigans are high. As last year they didn't trust BCP, Best Coast Pairings, to be able to accurately run their tournaments, so they manually scored and didn't accurately run their tournaments and accidentally announced a winner for Age of Sigmar. And then when it was found out that they got it wrong, they rescinded her prizes while she was flying. And she is currently still, as you can tell by the tweet, blocked by Adepticon for the pleasure of being irritated that she had prizes removed. Moving away from kind of Adepticon, just kind of speaking in generalities here, what would have to happen to make you not want to go to a tournament of kind of this scale? Starting with Evan.
What would they have to do to make me?
Yeah, what would it have to be like? Well, I'm not going to that.
I don't know, man. It's
damn.
I really like Adepticon. It's really it's really going to see the same people. You come back to me on that one. Let me think.
Yeah, for sure, Danny. To take the baton, run.
Yeah, sure. I would go to Adepticon once, like I did, and then never go back again. I'm so all right. So no, I thought that was like, no offense, Evan. I thought it was one of the like I played in 3 different tournaments there, but like stuff was late. Like the place was just packed. Like I don't know. It was cool to go, and I'm glad that I went, but I have no desire to go again.
So, I guess so. How I tackle it each time is, we do the 40K team event, and we really do that for the playing doubles games with our friends. That my team's all over the country, so we come together and do that. And they're always terrible missions. It's like if you're going for competitive to Adepticon, like you're really just going because it's a high value ITC event, not for like actual tournament quality. Because they make these dumb mistakes and design some terrible missions and don't ever fully seem to understand the meta. But what I think the best way to tackle Adepticon is look at like all the events they have where you don't have to bring a single mini, and do like 2 to 3 days before like your main event, just playing random games with minis brought by other people, and that makes it a lot of fun because you're just playing things, playing weird games you've never played before, and like racing orc buggies down a board with random stuff happening, like things you read in the Black Library books and stuff without actually having to do it. And then other game systems, like you show up and play the Battle of Hoth with like someone's bespoke rules, not just Star Wars Legion, and like that's cool stuff.
Yeah, Totally get that there. Guys, we're going to take a quick break here real quick to do something I'm about 4 months late in doing, to remind you that you can get all of your miniature supplies at frontlinegaming.org. Right now, if you go to their secondhand store, in their Marvel Crisis Protocol section, they have legitimately like professional quality painted minis in there at a phenomenal price. Again, use the link in the show notes so we can continue to make, as one chat member described, one good joke every 3 months. Keeping it lighthearted here. We're going to move up. This picture here is
Man, what a
courtesy of the
transition.
40K Frontiers podcast, showing that the yellow and red card system we have is pathetic, as this gentleman here didn't submit his list or pay on time. He didn't get a yellow card. He was forced to wear a dunce hat that looked to be 2 foot tall for the entire event. Guys, is this the perfect system?
Not really, when there's already people showing up in pajama pants and bathrobes to events. Like this is a community with no shame.
Yeah.
So shaming us into doing things is not going to be effective.
Yeah, I'd like some kind of shame collar more, maybe, instead of just a big hat, like something that's heavy and weighs a lot. And if you're not careful and you bend over the table, it'll damage your miniatures. I want that kind of. I want that to be the
people
punishment.
dog cones.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. I was going to say, how can we Americanize this very foreign system to best things? So, Danny, you had an idea about putting people in cones of shame.
Well, hold on.
One would assume so they couldn't like walk out of the hotel, the conference.
I have
room.
a great way to Americanize this.
No guns.
Okay, hold on. Well, I got another way to Americanize this. First of all, we jack up the size 3 or 4 times. We make it beep if they try and leave the hall until they pay the $5 a day fee that it takes to rent out this device, which they're forced to have if they want to participate in the tournament.
Fair.
Kind of
Evan?
like an ankle monitor.
Yeah, I was about to say just ankle monitors. That's exactly what I was.
Just put a boot, yeah, like kind of like, you know, the car tire boot, like just to stop it from moving. Just when you show up for your round, you are chained to the table and you cannot leave until the round is over.
A boot on your cart that you push around.
Oh.
Ooh. that's what gets booted.
But don't worry, high rollers get one free boot removal.
Yeah, one free unlock. Yeah.
But should we though view rules infractions in a little bit more laid back way? I think a couple of weeks ago someone said this is a very silly game, and right now we're going straight to the tournament scene of like, yeah, yellow card, your list was late, or red card for like this kind of thing. Do we need to kind of lean more into the ridiculousness of it instead of kind of trying to like hardcore like ESPN it?
God, what a bad take, John. Come on, dude. Like I want to lean hard into the seriousness of it. Like I think that it's great to have like it's great to give people like cards for cheating or submitting the rules late, especially if there's an advantage to doing so. Pre-knowledge is a very powerful tool, especially if you can analyze the meta before you submit a list and just take a card with a small penalty. Like that's not right.
Or you'd have to wear a very large hat. Evan, what about you? Do you think these infractions are kind of, because right now what happens is one person will do a thing, and for whatever reason, as soon as that happens, 50,000 people on Twitch are just spamming the chat with this guy did this like over and over and over again. It kind of derails the game a little bit there.
I definitely think they should be taken a little bit seriously, especially like he was saying, like the list submission stuff, because I remember the TOs are volunteers. Like no one's really getting paid to TO these except at like the US Open, the GW events, right? So like whatever makes their day easier, I think is what we should be going with. So if there's some system that's going to make you have to submit your list, let's do it for the TOs, man, and take it on the chin if you don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving on here. Great painters are everywhere. But Flame On shared this frankly stunning Celestine miniature that he spent 300 plus hours on, which is phenomenal. Terrifyingly, he also released on his Patreon a step-by-step PDF on how to achieve the same look. Evan, how many steps is in a 300-hour paint job?
I'm gonna assume 300.
One per hour.
one per hour.
It's not that he painted solidly for the entire 300 hours. He just had a solid 60 seconds every day.
Oh, yeah.
So
300 hours. It's 300 pages worth of techniques. That's it. Simple, easy, done.
Danny using collegiate rules here. Danny, how many hours were spent crying because he fucked up an eyeball?
Oh, probably none. I mean, that guy's they're professionals over there, so I think they probably know what they're doing. I don't think they fuck up too many eyeballs, John.
It's fair. What is, for both you guys, the most time you've put into a single model? Now, we do have Nova champion, two-time award winner, Evan Valdyke. So what is the most time you put into a single model?
My Titanicus models do take like a couple hours a night for like at least a week on like just a Reaver, more on a Warlord and the War Master. God knows how long, but I mean, it also has about 17 miles of trim, so painting that is a pain. I don't sit down and time myself, but probably easily at least 40 or 50 into one of my bigger Titans.
Cool. Danny, what about you? What's the model that you've spent the most time painting over your hundreds of years of gaming?
I have a Lorgar that I painted a while ago that I probably spent 12 hours on. That was about the most I've ever spent on a single model.
Nice. Would you say as well, and this is going to follow up here, what's the miniature you're most proud of what you did? Not necessarily which took the longest, but which one are you most proud of?
I have a particular dark elf sorceress that has like a tattoo on her cheek that I was really proud of that I painted. I thought that was pretty cool. That's my favorite
tattoo, a black rectangle near an eyeball.
That's a beauty spot, John.
And then Evan, I saw you wheel away to find yours. What are you most proud of?
So that's a two-part. So I did get a finalist pin at the Golden Demon for my Sight Titan, but I did then paint this guy after Adepticon, and it is a 80s themed Mephiston. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but it's on my Instagram too. But currently him, because he has sunglasses too that I painted.
Man, that just makes him even cooler.
Hell yeah.
Guys, Chaos players, you can't stop Slaanesh players from being literally the worst gutter scum of 40k players. As this person here has sculpted this Hellbrute with a massive penis. You guys, if you are watching this live, you're not seeing that. You're actually just seeing the face of Signals from the Frontline host, Seth Oster, covering Groupie's lower extremities.
Wow.
Both you guys, you're well aware of the lore of 40k. Why do Slaanesh players go straight to sex when there's so many other things that Slaanesh is about?
Yeah, Slaanesh is about excess. I guess that's excessive size is what that person went for. But
well, it looks bulbous to me. That's how I would describe that.
But why is that I don't know, because go back to the cum weapons. We're just constantly going into the gutter.
This is the Votan's technology being stolen by Chaos.
You can't let it get into the wrong hands, John. Those cum weapons can cause untold damage.
In the wrong hands, they're flaccid and useless. But actually, we're going to skip past a couple here. I just want to zoom in on the Votan weapon that Hellbrute is thing. On the next slide here, I have a zoom in here as the majority is still covered by our sensor bubble. But damn, it's really irritating that he's actually a really talented sculptor. And I say he because confidently, that is not a woman in the world who would sculpt that on a helper. Oh,
Why does it
Danny,
have a tongue?
well, in Europe, there's different traditions when a baby is born. But anyway, uh, Danny, it's been a while since you've had to describe something, and Evan, I'm excited for your reaction to this. I've put this slide off for the last 3 weeks. It keeps on just being cut for time. But Danny, please describe these amazing. Or in fact, Val, skip to which is actually 19. 19. Yeah. Go 19.
Okay, 19. That's your answer.
Yeah. So please describe what we're seeing here.
Okay, so it is, and I'm maximizing this to zoom in for maximum detail. Unfortunately,
Enhance.
Enhance. Oh no, don't enhance it anymore. That's enough. So this is the Chaos Psychic Knight, painted in a flat but somehow shiny purple and blue color scheme, which is already
a Slanesh color
off-putting.
scheme. You don't want to know why it's shiny, but please continue.
Yeah. Anyway, it looks like one of the tentacles is broken off. Oh no, that's a stubber. Great. Okay, so instead of the knight's normal face, they've taken some creepy doll head and given it like big teeth, kind of like one of the dolls in the movie Krampus. If you've seen that movie, it's an excellent horror flick.
I'm excited that you take the obscure references I find and make them more obscure.
But yeah, no, they definitely did a good job of making their knight look really shitty.
Evan, there's a chat's jumping in here saying Puppet Master F's. But Evan, there's a lot of people who tend to take the Chaos Knights and just kind of slap faces on them. Is that what the Chaos Knight lore is for you? That it turns it from just like a knight to like just an actual like living demon person?
That's not really what the lore is. I think it still has people in it. I mean, I just think the Chaos players tend to be a little bit more like Sid from Toy Story that do that.
Just
genuinely the best description of a Chaos player I've ever heard, because they also have the graphical quality of a Sid from Toy Story 2. But please continue.
But no, it's not a demon engine. It's still a knight that's just been jacked up on warp juice, and been left in the Eye of Terror a little too long to bake. But could there be fully demon ones? It'd be cool. It'd be cool to see some sort of rules or like a house for like some fully demon ones.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because there are some fully like demonized or titans that exist in the lore, I guess. But we haven't seen that so much for knights.
Please stop putting shoulder pads on the Glotkin. That model is needed for the Age of Sigmar range as well. Putting a knight shoulder pad in a gun doesn't make it a knight. And you know what? I was going to cut this for time as well, but we're going to round this out. With some. Well, sorry, Danny, please.
Oh, bonus content, John. I'm excited.
Bonus content. Oh yeah, let's put this behind a paywall, part 2.
Yep, so see you guys next week.
Amazing model type. So these are amazing. Again, found these weeks ago. They kind of keep getting pushed back and back. But this guy here, and I found somebody Wargaming, they promoted on their Instagram, Battle Damage Marines. We got a guy on the left. He's got his head exploded by a bolter, I'd assume. We have a las cannon wound on the right there. Apart from the fact these are functionally useless in game, though it would be cool to just have a bunch of dead Marines as being your army. What other damage on your Marines would you like to see on the tabletop? So do you want to see like a battle cannon hit Marine? Do you want to see like a power sword cut Marine? I figure out when to stop talking based on when Danny finally clicks on my terrible word usage.
Yeah. So what I would like to see is a thunder hammered Marine and a lightning claw dead Marine. I want to see those. Those are high on my list.
Yeah. Evan, what battle damage do you want to see? I'm assuming some kind of Krieg spear.
A guy definitely getting blown up by one of the explosive spears. I also think just the Marine version of that guy from Saving Private Ryan, you know, picks up his arm, and just kind of
Oh yeah.
walks
Yeah.
up the beach. I think that'd be a good one.
Alex coming in chat here with, I think, my favorite comment tonight, saying he wants to see people with psychological damage.
Isn't that every Space Marine?
That is.
Technically, that's actually what
Someone
they
who
are.
died from Mind War. I want to see it.
Yeah, but guys, that's everything. Evan, thank you so much for coming here tonight. Go ahead, plug your stuff, let people know where to find you.
So you can find me at sepulchreofheroes.blogspot.com. Now that I'm not having to paint so much for some events, I should get some more posts up. I've been pretty terrible this year, but do plan to get a lot more. Also, Sepulchre of Heroes on Instagram. I've been putting up a lot of the stuff from Nova there and trying to put up more, going through it, and try to get some even better pictures of my Titans and Heresy army now that I won to share there. And you can also find us on Facebook at Sepulchre Heroes, but that's mostly memes. If you like memes, you probably do if you're still here with this show at this point. And then
No,
and
even
last
people
place,
who like memes have limits.
last place would be we do a podcast called Allies of Inconvenience.
Oh yeah.
So
Beautiful. Awesome. Love it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here with two-time Nova champion, Evan Valdyke.
Way more powerful than Jack Harpster in every possible way.
there we go.
And I
What a
now know I have the power through the Frontline Gaming Network to catfish really good players in with clickbait titles. And really, that's all we can hope for. Thank you, everyone, for watching, guys. We're going to be back next Monday. I'm sorry. It keeps going. Casserole Night continually is canceled. We're going to go through the highest highs and the lowest lows of the community. But as always, it's going to be pretty grim after dark.